माननीय सदस्यगण, कुछ महत्वपूर्ण नोटिस आए हैं, उस पर कुछ चर्चा विषय उठाने के लिए प्रतिपक्ष के नेता ने आग्रह किया है। मैं माननीय राहुल गांधी जी से।
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, sir. As everybody is aware, a war has broken out in the Middle East. The United States, Israel, and Iran are at war. This war is going to have far-reaching consequences. The central artery from where 20% of the global oil flows, Strait of Hormuz, has been closed. And this is going to have tremendous repercussions, particularly for us, because a very large portion of our oil and natural gas comes through the Strait of Hormuz. The pain has just started. Restaurants are closing. There's widespread panic about LPG. Street vendors are affected. And as I said, this is only the beginning. The foundation of every single nation is its energy security. And I do not say this lightly, but allowing the United States to decide who we buy oil from, who we buy gas from, whether we can buy oil from Russia or not, whether our relationship with different oil suppliers can be decided by us. This is what has been bartered. And this is a very puzzling fact for me. It has been a very puzzling fact why a nation the size of India would allow any other nation, the president of another nation, to give us permission to buy Russian oil, to decide who our relationships are with. And this has been a puzzle, and I've been trying to figure this puzzle out. And I have figured the puzzle out. And the puzzle is about compromise. We have a gentleman sitting here who is the oil minister. He himself has said that he is a friend of Mr. Epstein.
Oh.
Sir, I'm talking about oil security, sir. Sir, I'm talking about oil national. I'm talking about economic security, sir. Sir, here I have a document which shows that his daughter has received money from George Soros.
माननीय सदस्य, आपने जो नोटिस दिया है, उस नोटिस में बोलिए आप नोटिस में बोलिए। माननीय सदस्य, आप प्रतिपक्ष के नेता हैं, मैं आपको पूरा आग्रह करना चाहता हूं, आप नोटिस अगर इस बात पर बोलने होता है तो नोटिस आज इस बात का देते हैं। नो, नहीं बोलने, नहीं इजाजत दी जाएगी, ठीक है?
And about 33 honorable members have spoken on the subject. With all humility, I like to admit that most members seem to have spoken largely on the general budget, on which I have already given my reply earlier. But certainly a few members have spoken on specific issues related to the supplementary demand for grants. So initially, I will speak a few words about what exactly is in the supplementary demand for grants and then respond to each one of the members who have raised the issues. So the second supplementary demand for grants, first of all, let me explain that within a year, up to 3 supplementary demands for grants have been placed on the table of this House for decades. But I'd like to say under Prime Minister Modi's guidance, we have brought it down to the bare minimum, 1 or 2 and not beyond 2. So because not beyond 2 is a self-imposed kind of a restriction, so that we don't have a habit of bringing in more and more amendments and seeking Parliament's approval, we have made sure that we will minimize it to 2. But not doing even 2 or 1 would mean that we are inflexible, and would also mean that where states are asking for some, or when departments are asking for something which is so essential for them to function, it will look very uncaring and irresponsive of the government. And therefore, I think supplementary budget, which as per the original constitution makers, supplementary demand for grants is a very useful instrument. And where it is necessary, we will have to use it. But bringing that supplementary demand for grants should not be looked at as if some wrong assessments have been made originally in the budgetary estimate time, and therefore we have brought this. So it is done with a lot more open-mindedness and also flexibility which can be offered to the departments. And in that order, this time, we have placed the second supplementary demand for grants. Sir, in this, I seek the approval of the Parliament for expenditure requirements related to 61 grants. This involves gross expenditure of about 2.81 lakh crore through cash or technical or token supplementaries. The present proposal also includes an amount of 902 crore rupees that is being provided for recouping advances of an equivalent amount from the contingency fund of India. So 2.01 lakh crore is the cash supplementary which is being taken under 18 grants, while 0.80 lakh crore is the technical supplementary, and that's being sought for 32 grants, and 59 total supplementary items are being sought from 43 grants. Upfront, I like to say that this 18 plus 32 plus 43 may not add up to 61, which I originally said 61 grants are being placed here, is because some of them repeat or overlap, so the numbers may not add up. With respect, I would want members to be taking this fact into cognizance. Now, first of all here, I also would want to give that point as a reiteration. I wish to reiterate that with all this extra that we are coming up with, technical supplementary, cash supplementary, I do not want any member of the Parliament to wonder if I will be able to reach the fiscal deficit number that I have said during placing the budget here. The budget for 26-27 certainly states what's the budget fiscal deficit for the year ending March 31st, 2026 is going to be, and the rest is going to be for the rest. So we are not going to in any way not fulfill the word given in the budget. So I wish to reiterate that the commitment which has been given in this House for the second supplementary, inclusive of the second supplementary demand for grants, will be within the fiscal deficit presented, the target that has been presented in this Parliament on 1st February 2026. Sir, it's important for us to also recognize that we have announced 57,381.84 crores for Economic Stabilization Fund. And this I would want to elaborate a bit, because 58,000 57,381 is fairly a big amount, and therefore I want to explain as to why I have brought that in. The fiscal reforms, particularly the policy initiatives that have been undertaken post-COVID-19, made sure that the economy recovered well. We have strengthened the overall macroeconomic framework. Now, this has enabled us to absorb the shocks, the economic shocks of various nature, without deviating from the fiscal consolidation roadmap. But I want to highlight the point that the proposed economic stabilization fund will provide fiscal headroom to allow India to respond to the global headwinds, such as the recent crisis, unanticipated supply chain disruptions, unexpected shocks to subsectors in Indian economy, and any other event that may have significant fiscal implications. So in anticipation of what cannot be anticipated, we are coming up with economic stabilization fund. Now, therefore, sir, it's an irony that even when I'm talking about how the government is preparing for ourselves to face any unexpected events, inclusive of supply chain disruption, inclusive of LPG, they're not willing to hear the reply. They want to have their own agenda. चलाओ, सड़क पर, सीढ़ियों पर बैठकर चाय पियो, मगर LPG के ऊपर चक्कर चलाओ. ये है हमारी ऑपोजिशन. और दूसरा एक और विषय सर, क्योंकि हमारे सदस्यगण बैठे हैं और आप भी शुक्रवार के दिन जब प्राइवेट मेंबर्स बिल भी शुरू होना है उससे पहले मेरे जवाब है, इसीलिए मैं ये बात भी स्पष्ट करना चाह रही हूँ. इस देश में ऐसे विदेश में जो विषय हो रहा है उसके वजह से जो दिक्कत हमारे देश में आ रही है उसको हमारे नेतृत्व माननीय मोदी जी के द्वारा उसको कैसे सामना करना है, फंड प्रोवाइड करना है और तैयार रहना है. ऐसे बहुत सारे कदम जब हम उठा रहे हैं उस समय इस देश का विपक्ष साथ रह करके आम जनता को उम्मीद जताने वाले बात ना करते हुए ऐसे गैर जिम्मेदाराना स्टेप्स जो कर रहे हैं उसको हम खंडन करना चाहिए. जनता को इस देश में
आप कृपया अपने जगह चले जाइए. आप जिस मुद्दा पे बात कर रहे हैं एलपीजी में, वित्त मंत्री जी एलपीजी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, आप सुनना नहीं चाहते. उसी बात के बारे में बात आप सिर्फ डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए आए हैं, सुनने के लिए नहीं आए. वित्त मंत्री जी खड़े होकर बोल रहे हैं, उसी बात पे चर्चा चल रही है, आप सुनना. ये क्या जिम्मेदारी है आपकी? ये क्या जिम्मेदारी है आपकी? आप एलपीजी के नारे लगा रहे हैं, वित्त मंत्री जी एलपीजी के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, आप सुनना नहीं चाहते हैं. आप बैठिएगा प्लीज. आप कृपया आप अपने जगह पर जाके बैठिए, सुनिए. मैडम प्लीज.
सो ऐसे परिस्थिति में सरकार के साथ देते हुए जो भी विदेश से जो भी दिक्कत आ रही है, हम सब पार्टी के रूपरेखा से उबर कर ऊपर आकर के देश के हित में साथ रह करके जनता को उम्मीद जताने वाले बात करना आवश्यक है. और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी इसमें पूरे अपने ताकत लगा करके इस देश में नागरिक को कोई आपत्ति ना हो इसके लिए इतना मेहनत कर रहे हैं, मगर हमारे विपक्ष तो वेल में आकर के चिल्लाना ही उनका एक काम ऐसे समझ कर रह रहे हैं. देश का दुर्गत पोजीशन दुर्भाग्य है. मैं इससे ज्यादा क्या बोलूं सर. ये जो इकोनॉमिक स्टेबलाइजेशन फंड है, ये आई एम प्रोपोजिंग दिस टू बी partly met out of existing appropriation and partly through additional allocation. So ये economic stabilization fund कहाँ से आ रहा, यही है उसका जवाब. सर, फिर इस देश में कभी भी हमारे सैनिक के खिलाफ और सैनिक के विरोध में कुछ भी नहीं होता, ऊपर से मोदी जी के सरकार में उनका साथ देने के काम करते हैं। 41,430.48 करोड़ डिफेंस सर्विसेज रेवेन्यू के लिए दे रहे हैं सर, इस सप्लीमेंट्री डिमांड फॉर ग्रांट में। ऑपोजिशन तो साथ देना है, डिफेंस के लिए पैसा दे रहे हैं, इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी के लिए पैसा दे रहे हैं, फिर भी वो नहीं है उनको ये सुनना अच्छा नहीं लगता क्योंकि काम हो रहा है सर। 35,290 crore is the